Hey everyone, and this is the second trade of 20 trades. So I got another trade lined up. Before I get on it, I'm gonna take a look at yesterday's trade. Still hanging in a range. We hit this area again. We're kind of pretty much just totally flat sideways. I was hoping that this would have been a break, but apparently it wasn't. Obviously, obviously it wasn't. But still, everything is valid here. If we look at it, it's still in the range. It's still above this moving average it's been holding. And so I'm going to be watching this area and just to see how we look. We had the second break above it. You can see we broke once, popped down, broke again, and now it's holding. It is retesting this level again, but you can see we're getting some consistent breakage, and this MACD is getting bigger. You notice it's bigger, bigger, bigger. So right now I'm still okay with this. I'll be monitoring, and if I see something different, I'm always willing to close a trade early because I never want to hit my max loss on a trade. My max loss on this one was about $1,000, but I don't want to hit that, right? So, I mean, even when I lose, I want my losers to be less than what I actually want. So if I feel like it's going against me and I don't like the setup anymore, I will switch it. But right now, it's actually looking decent in my mind here. So, and again, we never know what's going to happen. Never, ever, ever. We can't predict the future. We just trade what we see. Okay, so now I'm looking at the New Zealand yen, and you can see we have a channel. We've got price at the top of the channel, then down, and then we broke this level. And right now we've been testing this moving average. I'd like to see this break above here. It would be a great move, but you can see the MACD is starting to get smaller and it's reducing, so it would be great if we got here and then we started the MACD to go up and then we started to hit the top of this channel again. So that's what I'm pretty much looking at. You can see we've got a little bit of support here as well. We have a double support, and we've touched this 1, 2, 3, 4, and a nice rejection here. So 5. Let's take a little lower time frame. Pretty much the same thing. We're sideways. We're just testing this 50 period on the 4 hour. The 1 hour is moving sideways, pretty much a sideways movement. So it would be really good to see some momentum here on this, showing some bullish momentum. But we do have a little bit of a channel right here on this area. You can see this channel. I'll draw this real quick. This is just a 1 hour channel, and it's moving upwards, so that's a good sign as well. You can see these supports are getting lower, higher. We're getting lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, lower lows. Okay, so now let's drop over to the 15-minute. And the 15-minute is where I'm going to really try to get this entry. You can see this just crossed over, okay? And from there, we have the crossover on the MACD, the crossover here, nice strong pull, and now it's pulling back in. So I'm actually going to go ahead and take this trade right now, and we're going to see what we can get here. I'm going to put my stop below this support. So right now it's looking at my stop would be, let's see if I can see different levels I can test here. This one would be 60 points. And I want to calculate, so let's back up to calculate this a little bit. So we've got, this level would be really safe. Let's do this. 50 points is here on this. This is a 4 hour. Let's go back to the 1 hour. This here is 45 points, and I'm thinking, based off of what we're trying to accomplish, I want to maybe give it below here so we get some action, give it a little bit of room. I see, okay, so let's go now to targets. If I put my stop here, 45 pip stop, and the middle of this channel is sometimes a really good target. And so you notice one thing is that I'm taking a lot of time on this, no hurry. I'm not fear missing out. If while I'm planning it, the trade takes off and I miss it, I'm not gonna get too excited about it. It is what it is. So right from where I'm at right now, this channel's about 200, and then the top would be 450. Ultimately, that would be a ideal trade, 475. So if I got a 45 pip stop and a 453 target, that's actually pretty good. I'm just calculating my risk right now. Give me 1 second, because I want to make sure that want to make sure I'm risking the right amount. So the way that I calculate the risk is you calculate so I just bring up a calculator here. Let me pull it up on the screen so you guys can see. I calculate the pip cost. So if I'm trading two lots, the pip value would be $17 for every pip. So then it's 17.85, whoops, 2 times, or no, you do take the pips, so 45 pips times 17.85. Okay, so that would be $803 at 2 lots. And so I can just want to make sure that 45 is where I'm at. That's actually, let me go back down to an hour time frame here. We're going to go with about 50 points. So 17.85 times 50 is $892. I can risk a little bit more than that, so I'm going to go up to, so let's see what 2.2 would do. So 2.2 is 19.64 per pip, 19.64, and then you times that by 50 equals 982, plus we got to calculate commissions. Don't forget the commissions. So the commission on this trade would be about $20, so there we have it. So I'm going to go with a 2.2 on the risk. Okay, now let's go back one more time just to make sure it looks good across the board. It is dropping a little bit here, so I don't mind waiting, because sometimes when you get this candle, it will keep pushing down and the trade might reverse and I might want to wait for the entry. This would have been a good entry here, but I want to see what happens now on these time frames. So want to give it some room to run and let this thing do what it needs to do. So if I get a bullish candle in here, I'll go ahead and take this, and we'll see what happens. And I just noticed the chat, guys. Hey, Rhinus, it's glad to see you on board. Hopefully you're doing well. And hi, Malexius from Germany. Thanks for coming to visit us from Germany. I used to live in Germany for 4 years in Schweinfurt. It was when I was 19 years old. I lived in Germany for 4 years, and I really enjoyed it. It was a great place to live. I haven't been back. I'm now 43, so I left when I was 22, so it's been 20 years. I would absolutely love to go back just for a visit because it was such a cool place. Okay, so we got 5 minutes for this candle to close. I'm going to hold off and just see what happens here. I'm dropping to a 5 minute just to see. 5 minutes moving up. Again, it could very well, it could do anything. But I like to try to get it at the right timing, just because at this point, if I could tighten my stop a little bit, even that would help. Even if I could get it to come down here and then show a pattern, well, then I would save myself like 10 pips. And 10 pips on a trade like this is money. And if you're precise and you get a better winner, or you get a little, it would save me 10 pips on my loss, and it could gain me 10 pips on my win. So right there's 20 pips. So little stuff like that makes a big difference. So I'm just waiting, though. I'll wait till I really want to get the right timing. It's looking good. I really feel like this is a good setup. This resistance is great. But again, it's not about the setups, guys. It's really about the money management. And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing the 20 trades series. So I don't have a real time that I'm going to check in. So you don't know. Just subscribe to the channel if you want to get the notifications when I go live. And when I'm not live, you can always watch the recording. I think yesterday's recording happened around 9 o'clock. And so today's, it's near 8. It's just different times. And yesterday I posted the recording, and quite a few people were watching it after the fact. I ended up getting a decent amount of views on it, so that was good. Hopefully it's helping out a lot of people. If you guys have any comments or questions, you can always email us to comment on the video. I'm always checking the comments. But if you guys think this setup looks good, just to confirm, just hit the like button for me and let me know what you think by hitting that like button. Okay, so it's starting to stabilize here and starting to move. We got 4 minutes for this candle to close. And it looks like it's going to try to pull up. Does anybody have any questions about how I calculate the price? How I calculate the risk? Thanks, guys, for hitting that like button. Really appreciate that. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and take it because it's starting to pop, and I'm just going to go ahead and take this trade. All right, I'm in now. Okay, and so now that I'm in, I'm going to set my stop loss first. Always set the stop loss first. And right at this red line here, and the calculations was pretty much right on the money as far as the dollar amount, which was good. And let's go ahead and put that take profit in place. And this would be, a good initial take profit, 72 pips, so I would have a 50. So this is a 1-to-1. Now, there's a couple ways to manage this trade. I really want to try to get this one up here. Okay, so that's what I'm really going to go for, because I think if it gets to the top of this channel, my personal feeling is that it's going to just keep going. I think there's a couple areas where we could get some stops. I think this top of this channel might slow us down. I think that this middle range could slow us down. These tops could slow us down. So there's some things that could slow us down. Obviously, the hardest part is holding off for the big winners, right? But again, this is about a thousand risk for an $8,000 win, right? Hitting a 400 pip trade is not easy. It takes a lot of patience. So what I'm going to do, the way I'm going to play this or trade it, is I'm going to wait for these areas to take out, and as it takes out, I'm going to move my stop and just slowly trail it. I'll lock in with the goal of hitting this, and along the way, I may take a partial profit. I might close, so I have 2.2 lots open. I might close one of them along the way. That's pretty much my strategy right here. As we go on, I might take some different type of trades, trying to maybe get a little bit tighter on the stop. I want to get some momentum first and try to get a couple winners under my belt before I get too tight. It's nice because when you get a little tighter, it can get you stopped out faster. And so that's the main thoughts behind that. I want to just build a little bit of a cushion first, and then I might try a couple tighter stops. And that way I don't have to quite wait to the 400 pips to make the 8-to-1. If I get a 15 pip stop, I can get 150 pips and get the type of risk to reward that I'm looking for. If I was able to really tighten this up and get a 15 pip stop, then I would only have to go maybe to the top of this channel or just a little bit past the channel to get the trade I'm looking for. If my timing would have been a little bit better too, if you see this candle, let me zoom this up. If you guys see this candle, this pin, I could have maybe got that trade, and then I would have only a 35 pip stop. But you can't shorten your stop just to shorten it. If you feel like you need to give yourself room, because if you don't, you're going to get whipped out. I actually got whipped out yesterday on a USD Mexican trade that ended up going through the roof, and it was exactly that because I had my stop was too tight, and you just can't do that. So let's go ahead and take it one more time at that Euro trade, and it's still in this range. We got the MACD crossing. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. 4 hour, the MACD shrinking. Still trying to get up here, so it's still very much a bearish trend. We actually haven't popped up above this yet, but I was starting to see the signals. I'm still liking this because of what I'm seeing on this 1 hour, and what I'm seeing is the MACD divergence. You see that? It's getting lower, 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 and these greens are getting bigger, bigger, bigger. We're starting to cross above this trade. And if we can, what I really feel like is happening on the long term is we have such a dramatic move to the downside. We got 450 pips, and I'm as much to tell you that it doesn't really matter how long these things go. They can go a long ways. But one thing you do have to remember is in trading, there's profit taking. So we got all these shorts that are up a lot of money, and they're like, oh man, they're hitting their targets. They're taking their profit. And so when the profit gets taken, they will then get some buyers in there taking that profit, right? Well, what tends to happen is when you get people getting profit, then the shorts start selling at these tops. Okay, so you get new shorts jumping on. So as the trade's developing, you got the guys way up here that's taking they got in short way up here, and they're taking profit right now. Profit, profit, profit. Then you get new shorts. They're like, oh man, I'm going to short the top of here, right? So you get shorts up here, shorts up here, shorts up here. All these shorts are building up, but the real shorts are already out of the trade taking profit, right? And so now what you got is a boatload of shorts that got in late, and then the price is going to come popping up and squeeze all those guys out. And when you start to squeeze those guys out, that's when the buyers start to jump on board, and you're going to see a big spike. And that's what they call a short squeeze, right? When all these shorts get squeezed here, and then the price rockets up. And so that's what I'm really trying to get. My timing was a little early, and it might, it's so easy for me to get stopped out of this trade. These shorts could push it down and then spike everybody out. So either way, the market is trying to play games and spike people out, because that's just how the market works. And you have to be expecting that. And so I am totally expecting that I could easily get stopped out of this trade by a push. But at some point, we know that it is going to push higher because of exactly the same scenario that I just talked about. That's what I'm looking at right now. So it's still looking pretty good. We'll take a look at the New Zealand yen, and I'm still flat here. Just crossed over on this 15-minute. It looks like it's starting to move up a little bit. Okay. Thanks a lot. And Malaxius, as far as the broker, I will put a link below to the two brokers that I use below this. I currently am using FxChoice and Tradersway, but I'll put a link below there so you can get access to that. All right, thanks a lot, and that's going to be it for today. Just in review, I'm currently doing a 20-trade series, and this is trade 2 of my 20-trade series. We're going to see where we can go with this. Thanks again for stopping in, and if you thought any of this was useful, I'm going to do one more try to get you guys to like it. If you thought this was useful, interesting in any way, please let me know by pushing that like button right now. Helps get me noticed, so that helps me out. Hey, and also, next time you stop on in, just have some questions, and I'd be happy to hit those as well. These aren't going to be long videos. I'm just going to explain the trade and move along, and then keep you guys updated on the 20 trades. And also, just to let you know, Tim's series, his educational series, is going to be coming out real soon, and I'm really looking forward to that. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you get notified when Tim's trades are coming out. And he's doing just such a good job of doing the long-term, consistent trading. My style is a lot different than his, and that's okay, because Tim always says you do what you like, right? What works for you. And so I'm just giving you a different look, but I definitely want you guys to keep following Tim, because Tim is the best. All right, guys, that's it, and see you soon. You know what? Ready? Whenever a trade happens, okay? Whenever I see a trade, good question. I don't know when the trade's going to develop. I sit here in front of my charts 8 hours a day, So whenever I see one, I'll try to keep it in the mornings around this time, 8 or 9. If I don't see one, sometimes I'll see some will happen in the afternoon, but this is probably my preferred time to take an entry. Alrighty, that's it, guys. I'll talk to you later, but have a great weekend, everyone. Enjoy your time, relax, have fun with the family, do something good for somebody. Random acts of kindness is a great way to live. All right, we'll talk to you later.